There are a lot of options for Jeep headlights. From budget units on Amazon that will cost you less than $80 to JW speakers that can run up to $1,500. It can seem like there is very little middle ground in terms of price and styling. Not everyone can or wants to spend $1,000 plus on a pair of headlights. And not everyone wants crazy styling, halos, and RGB. What if there was an option that runs under $200, has fairly understated dual projector styling, and a legit DOT approved output? If that's what you've been looking for your Jeep, here is your headlight. So if you've had the opportunity to experience the stock headlights in a JK Wrangler, you know just how bad they are. They truly verge on being almost dangerous and are probably the worst lights I've experienced since my 1995 Ford Escort. They're that bad. Within our first week of picking up the Jeep here last month, we had to drive home on Interstate 5 in the rain at night, and it was a bad experience. I repeatedly checked to make sure the lights were actually turned on. They're that bad. So needless to say, after that experience, I hopped on Amazon real quick and looked for just an inexpensive set of LEDs that would, be good enough to get us through and be an improvement. And luckily, Nicole and I are usually in agreement with styling and kind of what we like. And we don't really like all the fancy, really out there designs and everything that are pretty common in the Jeep world, it seems. I've been out of the 7-inch round world for quite a while since I had my old 60s Volvo and my C10. So yeah, it was kind of a learning experience again. But luckily we found a set of reflector-based LEDs that I've since learned are a copy of the truck light 7-inch rounds that are pretty well regarded as a good headlight and are of course more expensive. So we got these and got them put in, and definitely an improvement over stock. But they have kind of a weird beam pattern. The light seems like really far in front of the vehicle. So you've got this big dark patch between, your bumper and where the light starts. Kind of weird. So I've been just filling in with our fog lights, and that works good. Like the combination of the two actually is a pretty decent setup. But it's not fantastic, so I was just planning on upgrading to a more legit set sometime down the road. And coincidentally, not long after I got those reflector units put in, the folks at LED Colight contacted me and wanted to send a set of lights to review. So I said, sure, that sounds great. It'd be a nice comparison between what I just picked up, the stock ones, and whatever they can send me. And the first set they suggested I was not fond of, just aesthetically, the look, not our cup of tea, so to speak. So they came back with a suggestion for a set of lights that were not on their website yet, weren't up on Amazon yet, and look was decent, pretty typical dual projector, a stacked top and bottom projector with the DRL on the side, fairly understated, black housing. Again, not necessarily my favorite kind of thing, but a pretty typical Jeep look by now. Those were pioneered by JW Speaker for the most part, I believe, for the stacked projector look. So I said yes to those and proceeded to wait a couple weeks before I got the lights. So while these were sent to me by the folks at Colight, they arrived with the MGLLight branding, and they wanted me to use their name in reference to the product. So I'll try and call these MGLs. I may call them Colights. I'll do my best. You'll know what I'm talking about. Just as a side note, they do appear to be manufactured by a parent company that I'll put up on the screen here. I'm sure they make a lot of these different lights for various manufacturers. So anyway, side note on why the branding says MGL, but it's Colight that contacted me. And I do have a link now. I'll put a link both because these are on the Colight website and they're also on Amazon. Amazon is the one they wanted me to share with you and they do have the better price on Amazon. The technical specifications seem to be more detailed and accurate from what I can tell on Colight's website, so please do reference that, and those will be the numbers that I'm referencing the specifications to in this video. So one very unique thing about these lights, and something that I didn't really expect, was the fact that Colight, or MGL, has taken the time to actually send these out for independent testing for the DOT standards, the FMVSS108. You know, that's what all of your OEM manufacturers have to comply with when they create a headlight for like a new car. Often on the cheap headlights, like the ones we put in, they may say DOT on them, or DOT SAE. Sometimes you even see the DOT and the European E-code ratings on them, which are completely different and likely don't meet both. Realistically, they don't meet either. DOT themselves do not test lights. They provide the standards for manufacturers to produce to, but they don't do any actual testing. It's up to the manufacturer to ensure they are complying with the standard, and to prove that, they have to send it out to an independent lab for testing. And MGL has actually done that, and I will have a link to the testing document below that actually proves that. I asked for that from the folks at Colight, and they were kind enough to provide it for me. And so these are actually a DOT approved headlight. Now, like I mentioned, even if they are DOT approved, just like, say, the stock JK halogens, it doesn't necessarily mean you're getting a fantastic light. It just means that they are technically street legal. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get these unboxed. We'll take a look at them here inside, and then we'll go out and get them installed on the vehicle. Okay, so inside the box here, we've got a pretty typical setup. Decent packaging, everything is well put together. Lights come in, protective film over the lens. So you've got your light units themselves, and then you've got the two little pigtails. The yellow one is for the turn signal, and the white one is for the daytime running light. And then of course you have the H4 to, I believe our JKs or H13 adapter harness. And now, since I already have a set of aftermarket lights installed, I'll probably just be using the adapter harness that's already connected to my vehicle, but we will be wiring in the DRL and turn signals, and we'll go more into that in detail out on the car. So as you can see, we've got a nice looking headlight. Like I said, it's a pretty classic styling. It started with JW speaker, and everybody's knocking off of that, so you can think what you will of that, but it kind of is what it is by this point. You've got a low beam projector, your high beam projector, and then the lights on the side. They light up white for use as a daytime running light, and you've got multiple options for wiring, for how you want to wire that. And then they light up yellow for the turn signal function. So like I said, they're reasonably clean, they're fairly understated, no halos, no crazy weird designs. You see some really tacky stuff that's marketed to Jeeps. So again, not maybe my first choice for styling, but I'm hopeful on the performance of these. Alright guys, so install on a Jeep or even a classic car that takes 7-inch rounds is really easy. A couple basic steps is you simply have to take off the grille, and then there's the actual retainer ring around the headlight itself. The grille is a series of push pins. I'll show you in detail here in just a moment. And then some clips along the bottom. So I'll walk through that, and then I'll get you some detail shots so you can see it better, but really easy stuff. And now for the clips on the bottom that your top is free, you just need to grab and pull. It'll feel like things are going to break, but they won't, trust me. It just sounds like it. And then the easiest way to deal with the marker lights is to simply turn the bulbs and take them out that way with the retainer, and you can just leave those dangling. And now we've simply got 4 T15 torque screws to take off the retaining ring. Make that 3. Once the ring's loose, obviously you can see the headlight just wants to fall out. And then if you have a stock headlight, your connector's going to be right on the back. I'm already with aftermarket lights with an adapter harness, so this is going to look a little different than if you're just going from your factory lights already. But this is what comes off the aftermarket headlights. This is your adapter, and then your factory connector. And again, here on our MGL headlights that we're installing, we have the turn signal and DRL to deal with. So you see, just like the other one, we've got the main H4 style connector, and we've got our 2 extra harnesses. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do this. On the harness here, the stock harness for the turn signals, you've got a black wire, which is your ground, and then the middle wire is your marker light, this light here, one of the elements, and then the outer one is the turn signal, which is the other element. So if you tap into the middle wire and connect your DRL to the middle, those will come on if you turn your headlight switch into the parking light position, and that's one option. But they're either going to be only on when your headlights are fully on, or if you're in the parking lights. If you just turn on your car like a stock DRL, they're going to stay off. Now on our car, I have it programmed through a scan tool to run the turn signal as our daytime running light. So that comes on automatically when you turn the car on. So what I'm going to do is use our yellow wire here, and the yellow wire that comes off the new headlight, and I'm going to tap into that outer turn signal wire. Since that's already my stock daytime running light, that's going to allow the yellow LED on these outer bulbs to come on automatically with the car. So I'll have amber there, I'll have amber on the stock light, and I'll have amber on the side markers on the fenders. So that's how I'm going to wire up, but you do have the option to do it completely separately. You can also run power for that daytime running light if you want it to be light directly to a switched ignition source, and then they'll come on anytime you turn the key on, just like anything else that's off a switched source. But since I have these programmed to my DRLs, I'm going to go that route. I think it'll look nice, everything being a true amber, all on at the same time, and I'm only having to tap into one wire right here by the headlights. Keeps it all simple and pretty clean. Alright guys, so I'm kind of racing the weather out here today, but I took the time to put that single wire into some split loom and ran it through the headlight bucket and out this corner here, just like the stock turn signal marker light wiring. And then I've just got a wire tap that takes a spade connector to give me the connection out here. So we're going to slide that together. So that is good. I left everything, which is long, with the stock link that came in, just for versatility. If I want to change things up in the future or whatever, I have that option too. So, alright, so now we've got our headlight, and we put our adapter harness for the H4 to H13. That plugs into our stock wiring harness connector with this little lock pin. And then we connect our one yellow wire for the turn signal, and in our case, that is a turn signal and DRL all together in one. Alright, so all these 7-inch rounds have 3 locating tabs that fit into the stock bucket. just like that, so you can't rotate it. And then we're back to putting our trim ring on in place. All right, so there we have the install. Let's turn this thing on and kind of see what it looks like. All right, so we got a successful test fire there. Saw those come on. As soon as you start the car, for the stock DRLs, you have to put it in drive before they come on, and they're off in park. So you saw them come on and then blink with the turn signals. So successful first test, but it's starting to sprinkle and rain again. So I think we're going to wrap it up for now. We'll get the other side done here in a moment, and then we'll do some night shots and see how these things look in the dark. And that's the part I am most excited about. So after getting these properly aimed and using them for about the last week and a half, I am genuinely impressed with their performance. The output may not be world-beating, but the beam pattern is great, nice and smooth, with no hot spots or shadows or weird patterns like you so often see. And the cutoff line is fantastic. Not only is it the nice DOT approved, so you have no worries, it is very colorful, has some great blues and purples in that cutoff line, especially when you get both lights aimed perfectly on top of each other. It ends up being nice and thick. You get a great color flicker when you're driving through traffic. If you're going to spend anything less than, say, $500 on a set of headlights, I genuinely think these are your best bet, especially at the price that they are on Amazon right now. So of course, there are links in the description below. They are not affiliate links, and I do not have a discount code, so get them if you want them. It's no skin off my back if you don't. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it got a little long in places, but there's a lot of information to send your way. We will see you guys again for the next adventure.